Welcome back to Cinema Corner. I'm Blake, and today I'm here with just one of my co-hosts, Josh.
And today we will be reviewing The Mandalorian and Grogu. Blake is famously known as the Star Wars fan when it comes to our trio. So I think it's just right, Blake, to hear from you first. I know you really paid a ton of attention to this film, remember a lot of the details of it, because you are the Star Wars fan. So take it away, please.
Yeah, as Josh alluded to, big Star Wars guy. I know the lore. I watch all the shows several times over again. I have totally not only seen the first, technically 6 movies, and that's it, and refuse to watch anything else Star Wars related. I also am not somebody who's in the firm belief that anybody of our generation should give up on Star Wars and should just admit that Dune is the greatest sci-fi trilogy of all time, and that's all you need. We don't need to visit Star Wars anymore, people. We can grow up. That can be for our dads. It was great when they saw it. We can be adults here and realize it's trash. With that, very weird that Alex did not see this. Josh issued a warning, and apparently Alex took it to heart. So kind of strange, but I did see it. This was the first Star Wars project I've seen since the whatever those were called. The 1, 2, 3, technically 4, 5, 6. You know,
the sequels. The prequels.
The prequels, I guess they were considered.
Okay.
Haven't seen anything Star Wars related.
Yeah, with Anakin.
Besides this one. So, I was locked into the lore. I knew everything that was going on. I was not lost even right away when we were talking about who's the rebels and the Imperials and all this. I don't even know where we are in timeline. I have zero idea what year it is in this. So that's the knowledge I knew going into this movie. I knew it was a TV show. Did not watch a TV show, obviously. But I can tell you from watching this very clearly was a season of that TV show that was split into a movie because you could pretty much pick out, well, that's where that episode would have ended. That's where that episode would have ended, and so on. So I thought that was definitely an interesting choice. But I think Josh, obviously, you're a big Dave Filoni guy, so you can give your take on this project.
Yes, big fan of the guy. Definitely did not warn many of the fucking fanboys about his hostile takeover from Disney's just wrath of the IP. Listen, hey, it's no secret that Disney fucked up with Rise of Skywalker, right? But guys, that was like 7-8 years ago. Okay, let's move on. And they think that Dave Filoni is their hero, that he is the second coming of Luke Skywalker in their fucking eyes. And this is what you get. You deserve this project. You did. So let's start off strong here. Okay. The number one defense I see for this film is it's a kid's movie. It's just fun. It's just a fun movie. You hate fun? This isn't an original IP. It's not an original story. It's not new characters. It's a sequel. Sequels can be criticized, whether you think it's for fucking kids or not. Okay? There's a reason why Cars 1 is loved and Cars 2 was rightfully reviewed bomb because it sucks. Okay? You can make a good kids film and it can be a good movie too. A movie for kids can also be bad, and that's what this is, because Dave Filoni is a weird little freak that is putting himself in movies, and he's sooner or later he's going to say the Star Wars version of the N-word sooner or later in his little Cowboys hat, because he's a little freak, and that's who he is. You know, he really, truly, I think, believes that he is the second coming to these Star Wars fans. And I have the same critiques that I did just a few videos ago about his Shadow Lord, except it really feel those critiques when it's with real actors, real people in the theater. This isn't a sequel of an animated show that I watched when I was a kid. No, this is a movie that is technically season 4 of a show that we haven't seen anything out of in almost 4 years. you felt that. And Blake doesn't even have the extra context of how disappointing this movie is, because since season 2, we have been seeing the regression of storytelling with when it comes to Din and Grogu. Grogu at this point, I mean, I borderline hate him. I mean, seriously, he is a pointless sidekick. He brings nothing to the story. And because Mando is literally an impenetrable just walk of doom and nothing can kill him, basically, he never suffers the consequences of Grogu's childish actions. And because Grogu is, the fucking mini Yoda, he never suffers his own consequences of his own actions. There is nothing left first storytelling wise with these two characters. It was so pointless, and I did go into this film wanting to give it a chance because I know it is valid to say that Star Wars fans, man, sometimes, yes, it does feel like, can you ever please them? This is not that. It is not this at all. It was not a good movie. It was just a classic Dave Filoni film where he just relies on his endless cameo Star Wars knowledge and thinks that could be good content. I mean, like, I bet he thought everybody was going to cream their pants that he basically made a live action of the little game that Chewbacca was playing in the OG trilogy. And that's what that whole arena gladiator fight was, all the monsters that you see from fucking 40 years ago. I don't care when I'm seeing fucking Jeremy Allen White do a dog shit English accent for a Hutt. Why is he speaking in English? It looked awful. It sounded awful. And then, like, his fucking big ass just falls on Mando and he just tanks it. Like, as soon as that happened, you just knew, oh shit, the reviews saying that this is a movie you can't spoil is true, because nothing was going to happen to him at all. And why are we telling this, like, lost son arc for Rod the Hutt? Who fucking gives a shit? I mean, who thought we would care at all? This is a sequel. Why did it feel like I got more for Rod the Hutt than I did for Mando or Grogu? It did nothing to progress really, like, the story of the times, because this is around before the sequel trilogy. This is right after the original trilogy. That's why, it did nothing for any world building at all. It was just so pointless. Sigourney Weaver, I mean, how do you waste someone like her? You wasted her in this film. I mean, true. I hope she got the bag queen, because, like, you had like 10 lines of dialogue. So, I mean, it's just insane. They just keep regressing the story. Grogu should have went with Luke after season 2, because now he's just a pointless side character to make money for Disney. He has no point to him. The fact that they're trying to still go on to the fact that he gives a shit about his helmet coming off after they spent a whole season 2 of him getting past stereotypes when it comes to the Mandalorian lore, and then season 3 they just completely undo it, and then in this movie they try to make it like it's a big deal that his helmet came off, and that's why he's got to kill them, because they saw him without his helmet on. Oh man, it's not like you spent 2 fucking seasons doing the same shit, man. I don't care. I do not care. Like, there's just you can just keep on going about why would you care about this movie, and every part of it would be right. It just, even the parts that's good makes me mad, because it's just Dave Filoni just stealing characters that he feels like didn't get enough storytelling from his fucking animated shows, like the other bounty hunter that is from Star Wars The Clone Wars show that he's done. That's why he had so much screen time. Now, yes, was he cool? Yeah, I'll give him that. But Dave, fuck you. So no. And it's just, I don't know. It was, I don't know how you make a filler episode a movie. And I'm a fan of filler episodes. That's what this was. I mean, and the craziest thing is You know, I saw with a friend of mine that is a major Star Wars fan, and he's typically nice when it comes to rating movies, and he came out of this pissed off. And I think that should tell that, hey, this isn't a good film. The only people I heard from the movie theater that liked this was people that haven't seen a Star Wars movie in 40 years. You know, that's it. That's the only people I know that like this. Or you're a kid, and you know what I mean. Like, I'm not mad at the kids if you enjoyed this. It was a pretty movie, but if you're any older than a high school age, and you say you like this, I don't know what to tell you. I don't even know how to talk to you. Best thing I can say about this movie, at least it was pretty. The looks. Listen, I won't agree with that, but I will agree with that for this one.
You should.
And the only positives I can say for it is it didn't feel, at least, like it was a streaming quality when it came to the visuals. Yeah. I did think there was moments where it did at least felt like they gave a damn. The CGI artists and that, I don't want to hate your work. I think he did do a good job. I think Embo the bounty hunter looked really good for how much of a kind of a freakish design that character is, and somehow you made him look really good in live action. I will give you props for that. I won't let Dave Filoni ruin that for you. But everything else about this movie was awful.
Yeah, I mean, those were my two big takeaways in terms of like good out of this movie. Was I thought it looked very good. Like you said, there was not a whole lot of moments in this movie where it didn't look good when it did rely so much on CGI and stuff like that in this world. So I thought it looked really good. And then the soundtrack I thought was phenomenal. And then I saw that it was Ludwig who did it. I was like, makes sense. Absolute bangers, all he does. I thought the soundtrack was phenomenal. But besides that, that's pretty much the end of the line when it comes to like any compliments I can really give for this movie as somebody who doesn't know anything about the Star Wars world like we talked about. Yeah, I was like, okay, this movie was very whatever to me. Like I said, I feel like I could confidently tell you at least 5 episodes what they would have been, because the story arc and like it literally felt like they just cut it and we're like, okay, now we're going to go to the next scene. So that was a bit of an issue for me, that I could tell that I was like, okay, well, yeah, you literally just jammed it all into a movie, which didn't need to be told because the story wasn't anything phenomenal. I mean, it looked good, so I guess you got the movie budget instead of a TV show. But besides that, I was like, you could have taken the fucking 15 minutes where Grogu was like healing Mando.
Don't even
cut that out.
Started.
What are we doing? That part, I was like, well, I was so bored with that part. I was like, we get it. You want to sell toys at your Disney World shit and all your fucking stuff of Grogu, so you need to give him a huge plot so that people want to buy all his toys for their kids. But I was like, holy shit, this is getting jammed down my throat. Like, I don't give 2 fucks about this little guy walking around.
Can I pause you? Let me interrupt you just for a second before I forget this point. I want to help you criticize this point. We've already seen them say goodbye to each other in season 2 because they were doing a handoff of this emotional moment. It truly was one of the best moments of the show because you had 2 seasons of buildup of Mando learning how a sacrifice, this man who's dealt with a lot, been selfish his whole life, gets close to Grogu, and he's going to give Grogu away out of his best interest to Luke for him to learn his skills, because Mando's not able to handle that, you know? And so you see the selfish guy make the sacrifice play. So we already seen an emotional goodbye between these characters. So that scene already just meant nothing because they've already undone all that with season 3 and then this whole movie. So yeah, it is for many reasons to just not give 2 shits about that scene.
Yeah,
but continue. Sorry, I just had to point that out for extra context to hate that scene.
Yeah, I was so over it. I was like, holy shit, just let him wake up from this fucking poison. We all know it's going to happen. Stop dicking around. I don't care what Grogu's doing to try to heal him. But yeah, besides that, I mean, the opening scene of him like in that, wherever the fucking winter planet they were in when he was like killing the one bounty hunter, I was like, okay, this is my introduction to him. I was like, okay, so no classic Star Wars, nobody can hit a fucking shot because he was in one of those big AT-T Walker, whatever the fuck those things are called, and they're like 2 feet away from him, and none of them could even land a single shot on him. I was like, classic Star Wars. This is so cool. The fucking villains are just a bunch of dipshits. The actor who played the first bounty hunter he killed, I'm so glad he died off because he was unbelievably horrible. Like, he delivered 2 lines where I legit thought it was like SNL. He was reading a fucking cue card. I was like, buddy, you're giving Ice Cube World a world performance right now. You suck. So I was glad that he died because, like, if this guy was going to continue, this was going to be an issue. But yeah, and then like you said, I was very confused on like, why do I care about fucking Rada the Hutt so much that we're trying to free this dude? The only thing I know about the Hutts is from the fucking Star Wars I saw, and that motherfucker didn't speak English. He was just jibber jabbering, and somebody was translating for him. So then this dude was just speaking English to Mando the whole time. I was like, okay, I guess he got sent off world and he speaks English. I guess he's just learning languages. Cool for him. Jeremy Allen White, very confused that he like had a comment about like Marvel at one point wanted to work with him, and he like went to them and he was like, what can you guys offer me? And they were like, he said like, they were basically like, oh, what can you offer us? And he was like, oh, fuck them. Like, they were just like so pretentious about like, it's an honor to work for them. And it's like, they haven't done anything good. And I'm like, and then you went and played this character for Star Wars? Like, I don't understand. What did you bring to the performance that any other human could have done? But what do you expect from a pretentious fuck who did a biopic over Bruce Springsteen? It's like, okay, we get it. You want Academy Awards and to have a nomination in front of any ad a movie or to say Academy nominated guy. Like, we get it. You're so cool. You're so pretentious. Shut the fuck up. So I was like, what did he add to this? Because that performance, I was like, any dipshit could have done that job. So yeah, I thought Mando was just God, apparently. I don't think I ever saw him really take any damage except for that snake finally biting him. But besides that, he was just walking through shit, blowing everything up. Nobody could land a single hit on him. So yeah, I kind of walked out of this movie. I was like, visually, looked really well. The soundtrack, phenomenal. His theme song was dope. Obviously, this is my first time I've ever heard it. I thought his theme song was sick, Mando's, when he came on screen. But that's really the only positives I could say. Also, the end takeaway as this non-Star Wars guy who, you know, give me another decade or two, I'll dip my toes back into the world probably, maybe. Don't make Star Wars stuff without lightsabers. I'll say that. Nobody gives 2 fucks about what you're doing. You guys suck at everything. All you have is lightsabers are cool. No lightsaber. I wonder why you're getting beat out by fucking Obsession. You're getting beat out by a YouTuber's movie who had a less than $1 million budget is beating you. Weird.
Ironic that you say that, as actually the fandom has recently, because of Andor, which is non-lightsaber content, that's, I would argue, is the best Star Wars content that we got. People are having changed their opinion on that lightsabers, maybe that makes things worse. But no, hey, it's in the new era, there's a common denominator. It's Dave Filoni. And this is what you should expect. This is more. You're going to get more of this. He will not take the criticism. He's going to see the people that said that it was just fun, that people are just overhating, and that's the people he's going to listen to, and expect more of this. You know, the franchise isn't going anywhere because the next one of Ryan Gosling it's not starting a new trilogy. It's not starting anything new. You know, it could still be a good movie, but it's still a standalone. And that's all we're going to get from that. Because you're not going to get multiple movies of Ryan Gosling. Sorry, it's not. Way too out of an actor. That is a standalone. So the fact that this was just a nothing burger, and then we're going to get another standalone, and basically now we're going to go on to almost 10 years pushing of not having a franchise tiers of movies. We're not even going to try to start a new trilogy, not going to even start a new story. And instead, we just been getting constant just in-betweeners of between the original trilogy and the sequels nonstop. Yeah, I mean, the IP is going to be dead in 10 years. Simple as that. It really is. It's not going to survive. Disney's not going to keep throwing endless money at it. I think they definitely are going to notice this. I mean, yeah, the numbers were bad, real bad. And that is coming with the fact that it is Memorial Weekend, and the IP itself is still alive. I mentioned, I don't know if it was on camera or off camera, but when it was May the 4th, Disney released its streaming numbers, and it was in the hundreds of millions when it came to the streaming of minutes of just Star Wars content. And the main leaders being that of the most recent Andor show. So showing it's not just like old heads rewatching old stuff. The IP is clearly still alive. So I'm sorry, that's a message that this is a failure to all the people that just keep some reason just want to pretend like it's not. It didn't make much money for a reason. It got hate for a reason. Yeah.
As of now, it says 340 million worldwide, and it says it's reported it needs roughly 400 to 500 to break even. And if it's at 340, I mean, that's not going up anytime soon. It's been out already for at least 2 to 3 weekends. It doesn't have great word of mouth, so people aren't going. And we're about to enter a busy time of the year where we have Masters of the Universe, Disclosure Day, Toy Story 5, Scary Movie, Supergirl, all in like back-to-back weeks. And then you have Minions and Monsters coming out, Odyssey. I mean, like, it's at 340, and it would be lucky, I would guess, to get to 360 at this point. Like, it doesn't have great word of mouth, and it's been too long. So this is definitely going to lose money, which, Disney is not exactly in the greatest place financially in terms of some of their projects, their main ones. I mean, Marvel has been struggling recently between Fantastic Four and Thunderbolts last year. Disney is not very happy with losing money on projects.
Yeah, and those were at least reviewed well, They just didn't perform in the box office. This one is not reviewed well and not performing in the box office.
And I say that when both of those at least broke even.
Yeah. And I'm not seeing, obviously, they're not releasing reports on it, but I mean, I didn't really feel like it brought much attention to the show itself, or really any additional streaming numbers to justify this at all. Because when all the reviews are saying you didn't have to watch the show to watch this movie, then what's the point? I mean, I don't know. And also one other nail in the coffin when it comes to even what's the point of watching a show? Him getting his fucking Razor Crest ship back when it was such a big deal, and just a fun part of the show that him losing it in the first place, and then just them immediately giving him back his ship from the beginning of the show. It's just like, man, he's such just a slop artist. Dave Filoni is. He really is. Like, you can't get over himself. So
actually, upon further investigation, this will be the lowest grossing Disney Star Wars movie ever, as it looks like it's not on track to even beat out Solo, a Star Wars Stories, which had 392 million. So Mandalorian Grogu is looking like it will be the worst performing box office movie in Star Wars history.
Yeah, and since it's been 8-9 years since we had a movie, these are inflation numbers too. So it is way lower than what those movies made. This is post-COVID. Yeah.
It's crazy, especially when AMC just announced May was its highest visited month since pre-pandemic. Yep. So May was a phenomenal year for movie theaters. And Mandalorian Grogu was not the reason.
It's been a solid year for theater visiting in general.
Yeah, it has.
And we're not even in the summer, really,
Yeah, I mean, we're not. It's not even summertime yet. So yeah, definitely a rough one for Star Wars. Alex, maybe it was a good thing he sat this out. Also fake of him to set it out, but maybe he's joining the trend, as others will realize. Star Wars can die, people. We can move on with our lives. That being said, my rating for this movie is a 5 out of 10. This is pretty much solely carried by the soundtrack and the visuals, because I got to give respect to visuals, as we have seen in other projects, even Disney projects. Sometimes visuals can be terrible. This one did not have that, so I got to give those people props for working hard for a movie that wasn't worth working hard for, but they did it anyways. So 5 out of 10.
Yeah, for me, this is a 4 out of 10. I would never rewatch it again. That simple.
Very fair. Very fair. But that's going to do it for our review of Mandalorian and Grogu. As always, let us know in the comments down below what your thoughts were. Did you see it? Did you not see it? As always, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you guys in the next one.